Okay, so just again, I've talked a lot about, and say that this could be done, right? But let's show you exactly how that works. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to bring up the actual CAFR document itself. Okay, so hopefully you should be seeing some sort of a document right here. It says this is a Haven Special District Authority is the name I gave it, right? Case view for Windows. Okay, so this is basically the area, or I like to call it our report writer. Okay, it is called case view. We call it case. That's the name of the feature. Okay, it is a proprietary, if you will, editor that we have created so that you could actually generate reports using this as one document, as you will see later. Now, before I actually go any further, I know folks, some folks, create a CAFR, some do not, right? Some of them might just want to do a financial report, an annual financial report, right? Actually, the system allows you to select, okay? So if you choose to do a CAFR, the statistical section will be included. And if you choose to just do an annual report, then there will be no statistical section. So there are options here. So depending on, what your needs are or your agency's needs are. Okay, and again, this is a standard CAFR template. Full CAFR, like I said, generated on this proprietary report writer like we have. And this really is based on what we have done for our bigger customers that you've seen earlier, right? It's a scaled down and standardized version, okay? And the other thing I could also show you is that everything you do within this software is safe in the database. Well, I did say we have a trial balance, right, area that you can store your data, right? But everything actually ultimately stores on the database that comes with the software. Okay, so we have a flat file. We call it the flat file database. I guess what that means is that you don't have to worry about, going out and purchasing a SQL Server license or an Oracle database license or anything like that, okay, to have this running, okay? You could simply just keep everything within our database, and that will work fine too. And the other very important point is some folks still think that we're running some sort of Excel document underneath. No, we're not. Okay, there are no Google Sheets, Google document, or some kind of Word document underneath, or Excel documents. Okay, everything is actually safe on the database. That makes this interface or this particular editor very tremendous. It's the fact that it has all those abilities, okay, but then it's driven by a database. So it's really, really robust and quick. Now, what I'm going to do for the next little while is to walk through some of the contents so you see, how it looked like, what you can do with it type thing, okay? Okay, if you look at the left-hand side here, that's like a document map you can actually open up. So you can actually, go directly to the area that you wanted to go to, right? But as you can see, we have the entire CAFR, whatever that you need, already available. Okay, and to go through, say for example, table of contents, right? You see, we actually built the table of contents for you, or the system actually, when you get the template, it already has the table of contents, I should say. Okay, you don't need to have somebody build this for you, right? It's already there. Okay, now page numbering, pagination, all of those things are automatic. So you don't have to worry about, getting, I need to, get a Word document together and Excel document together, and a PDF document together, and whatever else, right? And you have to renumber every single time you add something or delete something. You don't have to worry about this. This will be done automatically for you. Okay. Now let's go to the intro section. Now notice that most CAFRs, right? You would have, lot of transmittals, so they've got an achievement from GFOA. Maybe you want org charts and things like that, right? That you wanted to add into it. So what we allow is that you can actually say in our document manager, which you'll see in a short while, is that you'll be able to actually add those documents in the document manager and have it automatically populate over here. So what that means is you see this saying, okay, insert this PDF document. The PDF document is not actually here. Okay, it's actually in the document manager. But it knows that, okay, for this, say in this case, right, because we already set everything for you, after the intro section, we will read next. Oh, we are looking for letter of transmittal. If there's no letter of transmittal, no problem. We will just skip that page. But most folks do, so we'll have a letter of transmittal, right? And then it will just take whatever letter of transmittal in here, whatever that you have there, and we'll print out the entire PDF document as part of this document, and then read the page break, and then keep going. Or you have a certificate of achievement, and we'll keep do that and do that and do that. Okay, and it's really, really easy. And for you, year after year, if you need to say, renew your letter of transmittal, right, certificate of achievement, every year will be a different one, right? So what you can do is in the, I won't go too deeply into that, but then in the document manager, all you have to do is to drag and drop the new ones, okay, into the area when you roll forward the file every year, okay, and just replace the old document here, and the document will automatically be updated. Okay, so again, lots of automation here. Now we come to the financial section. Over here, right? So you see is the MD&A, right? So the MD&A is nice, but just to illustrate to you, if I wanted to type something, right? See how I just put my cursor there? I can type, and then it works like an editor, correct? Right? That's a great thing. So you could actually have everything typed here. You can copy. You don't even need to do anything because with the template, right? We already have everything kind of set up for you. All right, and you look at the numbers here. If I double-click these numbers, you see it opens up a property kind of page, and it will tell you that it's a calculated cell. See all these numbers that you see here, all these little maybe dates, right, in the little text boxes, if you will, right, kind of. They're actually cells that are linked to the database, to the trial balance. So what gives us the advantage here is you can actually link, whatever that you have, imported, right, and mapped, right, those data directly to here. And we can even link a calculation. So for example, this net position is a calculation, right? So we have linked a formula calculation that has already been programmed for you. It will automatically calculate and give you that number every single time you open up this document. It will update it as well. Okay, so the graphs, same thing. Okay, so I guess the main thing here is folks go, okay, did you actually insert an Excel graph or anything like that? No, this is not an Excel graph. It's actually a graph that is generated by our system. So yes, our system has the capability of generate graphs, pie charts, histograms or bar charts, etc., etc. Okay, now we go to the financial statements, maybe, right? So you take a look at the statement of net position that's already set out. So, all right, and if I keep scrolling down, now we go to the statement of revenues, expenses, and changes in net position, right? So all these are linked to the database, to the trial balance. So whatever that you've mapped and imported, right? Any changes that you've done, right? Those the data automatically flows to all these areas that has already been set up for you. Okay, so really, really easy. We go to the statement of cash flows. Well, cash flows is a tricky thing. You can get so much information perhaps from the trial balance, but there are probably other areas within the statement of cash flows that you need maybe input it from I don't know, somewhere. It could be right. So what happened is that we give you the option, but then we have the ability, I should say, okay, to be able to actually go have a worksheet. Now let me just very quickly go to the document manager. Okay, I want to show you the worksheet that you can use to populate the statement of cash flows. Okay, if I go to the document manager, you see I can come here and open up right here. You see that statement of cash flow worksheet? So if I double click it, it would actually open up it in the editor here. Let's give it a second. It's just opening up right now. Okay, you'll see some of the numbers already populated in there. See, right? Then of course, for anything that you need to type in, you'll be able to come in here and type in, right? Any other operating activity, whatever that you needed to add in, right? You can do that too. And once you've done that, if I go back to the document, see how everything is now populated, right? So I can have some of it linked to the trial balance, auto-calculate, or auto-populate it, or I can manually come in here and type it in. I can even access it here too. So if I double-click right on this, it will actually pull up that document as well. So I can come in here and do whatever I needed to do. Okay. Now let's go back to the CAFR there. All right, I just want to again just show you how we can kind of manage that, right? Having maybe data might be coming from different areas, right? We can also accommodate that too. All right. We can actually take a look at the notes. Okay, next up is the notes. Okay, I want to kind of show you how the notes work as well. The notes to financial statements, as you can see. You see the note here, right? Or the numbering. It's part of our whole, page numbering, pagination in the grand scheme of things, right? It's part of that. So we can actually control to have the note numbers tracked automatically update it. If you delete a note, it updates it. If you insert a note, it does the same. Okay, and the notes have a notes library. If you recall, I mentioned earlier, right, that you can go to and insert industry specific or industry standard notes, I guess in your case, like anything that you would need, for your CAFA. So if you go up to insert here, notice that there's the notes here, right? So so I go in here, if I click in there, right, I can now access any of the standard notes that we already have prepared for you. Okay, this is a note library, so we can actually, when we actually, provide this to you, okay, you already have a set of notes that you can readily use, and you can even click on here, select a note, of course, and you can even preview it before you actually insert it. Okay, once it's okay, you hit it okay, it will insert it. Okay, and then it will renumber the notes, etc., etc. And you can also have the ability to insert other notes, whatever other notes that they have here. Now you can always, like I said, insert, take away, okay, whatever that you wanted to do in that case. And even the notes here, you see, I can actually go through some numbers. You see how a lot of them can also be linked to the trial balance. If you notice the mapping here, right, that means it's pulling from the grouping or map number there. So even the notes, right, can be linked. You saw the MD&A earlier, right? Those numbers can also be linked to the trial balance or the database. So you don't have to worry about footing those numbers, and when you make a change, up in the schedules, you don't have to worry about changing it down here, because since we're actually linking it to the exact same place, you don't have to worry about it. Everything will update automatically. Okay, so I guess that's one of the main points I want to kind of talk about too. And I know we can keep going in each and every document, but I don't want to do that since we only have an hour. So I will, and very quickly again show you where most questions come from. I have a lot of folks ask me, how do we deal with the stats section? Because we need to keep 10 years of data. How do we do that? Right? Well, in this case, what you do is the first year, okay, when you purchase the product, let's say you're going to purchase this, going to use it, right? You would have to do some data entry, enter the first 10 years of data here. All right. And the good thing about this is after that, okay, year after year, all you needed to do is to roll forward the file and carry forward, the balances, and you have a bunch of options actually, okay, to see what you wanted to roll forward to next year and create next year's file. And once you do that, once you do the roll forward, right, these columns will automatically basically move as well. So in this case, right, we have 2004 to 2013 data kept here. Well, we're not seeing the rest because we only say we started in 2012, whatever, right? So that's the only data we have. But when once roll forward the file, what happens is 2004, that column will automatically drop off the system, and then everything would move one column to the right, right? And then 2014 will be, the column will actually be created, and all you needed to do for that year is to type in your 2014 numbers, and that's about it. So from that point onwards, right, you'll be able to maintain, right, 10 years data going forward, year after year. So the only thing you need to do is when you roll forward is to type in the latest numbers, that's all. And then the rest of the old numbers, right, the one that you already have typed in, right, will continue to carry forward until it's not needed and drop off the system. So that's the stats section. Very easy, very, very easy again, to take care of. Now we talk about how easy it is, right? And I talk about the mapping tool for a long time. So can we actually see it, right? A lot of folks are probably going, okay, can we see that, right? Sure. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that mapping tool up. So I just have to go back to my document manager. Notice that I have a Gatsby map sort of mapping dialog settings thing here, right? So that's the tool that I'm mentioning. So if I double click it, right, I'm going to open it up. And see, during the first time when you actually set this up, right, that is what you would literally go through. You go through here, you would just make sure that it's a special purpose grouping we're talking about, because we already have all that set up. So you just have to import the data, right? It's already assuming that everything is already in your trial balance, right? So, and because everybody's account string is different, right? When you export everything, some use, a hyphen, a dash, right? Some use a period as a delimiter. So all you have to do is tell the system that, okay, the data that I put in, that I imported, I should say, uses a decimal, okay, or a period as a delimiter. So I just kind of tell the system that. Now, after that, then I can hit assign. Okay, and what it's going to do is to load my trial balance and show me my my mapping structure and whatnot. Now, notice that you have two columns, right? So here, on the left-hand side are all the items that hasn't been or haven't been mapped yet. And on the right-hand side, you notice, right? Those are all the items that already have been mapped along with the mapping category. So if I kind of open up current assets and all that, you see, right? Right, get there. So looks like I don't have, as you can see, cash and cash equivalents, right? I have nothing here, right? Because we haven't actually drag and drop anything yet, right? So that's interesting, right? So I have to obviously do. And how do I know the information is not there yet? You know what? I forgot to actually, my fault actually. You know what? Let me cancel out this. Let me go back to the actual CAFR, okay? And let me go to the statement of net position just to show you that. See how here, right? Cash and cash equivalent is currently zero balance. There's nothing there, right? And if I have, I also have a note here for cash. If I go here, nothing. Same thing. So cash and equivalents, right? Nothing. Interesting, right? So that is why when I go to the mapping dialog, right? Let me hit assign again. Because it's zero here. That's how we control it. So if I wanted to make sure that that data goes there, all I have to do is to, pick where I want it. Okay. I have cash and cash equivalent. Yeah, I have all of this, right? I just grab all of this and drag and drop it into where I want the cash and cash equivalents is, right? And I just release my mouse button. It goes there. If you want to see if it's actually there, open it up. It's already there, right? Hit apply. I hit OK. Now let me just go back to what do you think is going to happen, right? If you go to this financial statement, notice the note here, that's populated, right? And if I go to my financial statements, where my statement of net positions is, notice that? It was a zero. Now it's there, right? That's exactly what happened. Furthermore, if I want to kind of take a look at what's going on, you see how I can actually double-click on this drill down? It will show me what rolls up to this. That's just one way of showing you, so I can know exactly what rolls up to that. Again, just a quick little tip, right, for you. Yeah, that's how we do mapping. So you see how easy that would be now? I want you to insert it, drag and drop it to the appropriate area. All these things will be populated. Now to show you how it actually looks, right, when everything is done, if you want to print it out, let's hit print preview here. Okay, let me just go and hit on the print preview here. There's a print preview button right there. Okay, you see that's my cover page, right? And I'll just kind of go, you see how I have that, and then my table of contents is all numbered and populated. That was the transmittal letter, right, that you didn't see earlier. It is a PDF document, right? See how the PDF document comes out exactly how you want it? Oh, sorry, I skipped a little too quick. See the certificate of excellence, right, or achievement, and the org charts that I want, right, be in here. And then all the financials, right, look at that. Right, done. That's it. Now, if I wanted to very quickly print it out, right, I can just go print. Or if I want to export into different formats, I can do that too. I think you most likely would want it to export into PDF. See, that's it. I could even export it into RTF if I want to, right, with text format. Kind of like I can do that. But most folks wanted to just kind of write into PDF, and then you can send it out to your printer to get printed or whatever, or send it to your own printer and print it. Yeah, that's all it takes. Okay, so and let me just maybe go back out here. And the next little while, I think we have only gone through about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. So what I'm going to do is to talk a little bit about the document manager as well. Okay, so now you see how everything works within the CAFR area, right? How everything can be very quickly generated. Now I wanted to show you the backbone kind of that's behind it. So if I go over here, you see the document manager, right? You kind of saw that earlier, right? It has a kind of like a folder and document kind of layout, so you just file your documents however you want, like your file cabinet, okay, literally, but it's a digitized version of it, okay? Yeah, very easy. The other thing also is that if you recall, we have a trial balance that we're working on. Okay, I just want to very quickly show you that too. You see, if I see all these buttons over here, I click on trial balance. to show me the trial balance that we were working on. So this is what we were working on the whole time. Okay, all these data that you have, imported. This is not grouped or anything like that. But then remember the mapping tool that we use. So you get to pick the different ones and then put it into the groups that we have set up for you, right? So that it's all grouped properly. Okay, but I just want to let you know this is where everything is being stored. Okay. And to get the data in, like I said, there are multiple ways of importing. So really, you go to engagement, import. I highly recommend the Excel, right? Because what we usually do is export everything into Excel and just use the Excel to hold the data for that particular moment, right? Until you're ready to import it in. And you see we have a wizard that would guide you step by step on how to do this. Okay. So that's it. Now what I want to do also is to take this away. So because I have two screens that are kind of split into two. So what I can do is actually go over here and I'll just take away this screen so it's not split anymore. Okay, that's really what I wanted to do. So just so you folks wonder what am I doing, right? So okay, so I'm just making this big so you can see a lot more what's going on here. Now this is the document manager. So it's highly customizable. Okay, you can right-click here and reorder the columns. Meaning, you could, so these are all the columns that are active that are showing. Okay, so maybe I wanted to show what kind of issues I have, what's the name of the file, who completes this, whatever you want. Okay, I'm not going to go too much into the detail, but that's what you can do over here. Right, so, and think of it as your year-end, period-end filing cabinet, right? And all your documents can now be placed in one area. So instead of, like most folks, if you by yourself, you probably have everything, in your hard drive. But if you're working with a bunch of people, right, you probably have everything in a shared drive or somewhere in your network, right? And you have I'm sure folks will have problems from time to time in tracking who has the latest version and who's doing what with what document, who has updated it the latest. It could be a problem there. Right, and somebody may be grabbing and editing the document directly on the shared drive, and it will become, a very inconvenient for other folks who try to get in and do something about that, right? So we now, with this area, is a controlled area that you can have rules of who can do what, and document and be able to, have an audit trail, sort of, and be able to set who does what, the sequence of things, even. Right, and track like we say, tracking the audit steps, if you will, because we can do that with this system. Okay, so I'm going to show you some of the bells and whistles here. Like I said, it's not going to be a huge, tech talk about this, but I just want to kind of highlight, how easy it is, for example, to bring documents in. So you have a bunch of documents you're working on, maybe on your hard drive, maybe on your shared drive right now, right? So everybody will be accessing here from now, let's say. So I can go to my folder. You see, I can have all my Microsoft documents, right? Whatever that I need. Okay, I'll just highlight them, there, and then I just drag and drop it, and I'll be able to put it here, for example, right? See? So I just drag it to wherever I want, right? And it will just file at wherever I want at different levels, right? So if I wanted to kind of put it here, you see how easy it is? So and you notice that how it automatically kind of numbered those documents, right? Yeah. So and there are options for you to either copy it in here or move it in here. But I usually would want folks to, pretty much move whatever that they are working into this interface so they avoid having multiple copies of the same document, okay, within their hard drive. Okay, so you can really track what's going on. And I'm not going to go too deep into the other features that you have, but if you purchase this license, right, the solution, that is, you would have the ability to allow for multiple people working in this area at the same time. Okay, and we could talk about that too later on. It could be a question if you have any questions. Or we might actually touch on that too later on, okay, at the Q&A area, Q&A time. But long story short, we can actually, as you can see, right, any document. I can even put in Microsoft Outlook items, right? So that's kind of nice, right? I can actually go in there, I have it closed, so that's why I don't want emails to be distracting me. But I can actually have email items stored here as well. Okay, so great. And I could, from there, like some folks go, okay, what's the use of this? Well, I can, put everything together, everybody working from the same place. And if I need to create document referencing, say for example, right, I wanted to, my auditor is going to ask me, I have this number okay, that I've created. He's going to ask me where the source file, where are where's the source document that will be able to help you substantiate, okay, those line items you're talking about. Then, how do you do this now? Right? Most folks say, I have a document, just give it to them. But here, you can digitally actually create a link. Okay, so you can actually do that. So for example, I have some documents created. I have a database filter created here. We call those automatic documents, which I won't go into too deep, but those are database filters that we can create. And if I double click, you see, it will actually, in this case, it would actually list out all trial balance items by category or anything. You see how this is done, right? So I have the filters. I could say, oh, list out, each and every category, all the line items, and the total, whatever. So something that I could create. And maybe you've created a document like that, for your own use, and then you wanted to perhaps, your auditor might ask you, oh, okay, let's say for machinery, right? So, okay, you're looking at the machinery line item, no problem. So I can, come up to home here, and I'll say, I'll put a find. So you wanted to look at something that's machinery, right? Okay, machinery, there. Then you go, right, I found the line item here. Okay, that's the issue. Okay, the auditor go, okay, can you show me exactly where's the raw data that supports this, right? Then you go, okay, well, it's in some sort of a Excel document, and I actually have drag and drop that into the document manager earlier. If you see, right, I've dragged let's go back to here. You see how I've dragged a couple of documents here? I'm actually going to link it to the Gatsby PPE continuity schedule. Okay, I just give it a name there. So Gatsby PPE continuity. So once I'm in here, right, so I can now very quickly, you see, I can right click, much like Microsoft, okay, right click, and you see all these things that I can do. Well, I can see, for example, add a hyperlink reference, okay, for example. So it will ask me for a label. So I go, oh, this would be my PPE or continuity spreadsheet, whatever, right? I'll say continuity spreadsheet. So for you accountants out there, you know what I'm talking about here, right? Continuity spreadsheet, there. And then since it's a spreadsheet, you see how I can also basically tell the system that this is a spreadsheet, an Excel workbook that I'm looking for, right? And once I've done that, then the system will actually filter out all the Excel workbook for me. This is the one that I have. Luckily, I only have one in the system. But if you have multiple, it will list out all the relevant ones, right, which are the Excel documents only. So you just select, okay, this is a document I want to link to. Once you've done that, you could come in here, and it will tell you, okay, oh, within that spreadsheet, right, I have a couple of tabs, or maybe I want to link it to a particular area, a range, or whatever, right? I would say, okay, you know what, link it to the SDA, and then I want it to be cell number G8 or something like that, right? So I hit OK, done. So what I've done is digitally, I have now put in a link here. And if I wanted to click what the link goes, so I click, what it will do is actually open up that document for me, you see. And it will open up, at that particular, a tab or worksheet, right, at the cell number G8. And if I want to, okay, I mean, it'd be nice to create a cross-reference back to that document, right, that originally brought me here, right? It'd be nice. Can I do that? Yes, you can. With this tool, you'll be able to do that. You just go, add-ins here, right? And you see how it says connector. I'm not going to explain too much here, but connector is a tool that is included in the package that allows you to do linking back and forth, a bunch of things that you can do. But in this case, you can see how it says document. So basically, I want to link this to the original document. So I click on document. It will open up the entire document manager for me. And then I can now go and say, okay, which document do I want to link it to? Of course, it's that trial balance document I was talking about, right? That got me here, there. So maybe give it a label. So I'll say, okay, this is the TB document, trial balance document. Right? So I don't know what 5.1 document is, right? So, but I say TB document, everybody knows what that is. Once I've done that, I hit OK. That's where I want the link to be. I click. It warns me that it's make sure to save. Okay. So I go yes. See, it brings me back here. Pretty cool. So you can now have tools, all right, to be able to do linkages and whatnot. All right. So a bunch of things. I did also mention earlier that with this you can track, the work that you do every day, right? Even for yourself, assign tasks, keep track of tasks, remind yourself, or if there's any particular issues you wanted to tackle, there's a tool called Issues. So you can create issues, well, we call them issues. You see issues here, right? But you can literally just right-click and say, hey, I wanted to add an issue, a document issue here. Because when I look at some of these numbers here, I could put something very generic. Okay, I'll just say, oh, balances do not on balances do not foot or whatever. Okay, something like that. Okay, so the types here, I won't go too much detail, but you can define what kind of types because different people want to define their own issues differently. So I would say, okay, this will be a review notes issue, let's say. Okay, and you see, if you have multiple people, I can now assign it to a particular individual. Or if I wanted to assign to everyone or just myself, completely up to you, right? I'll just say everyone. Okay, so everyone has the ability to come in here and do this. Now, after that, we can go priority, right? And say, okay, make it high. And then description. I would say, oh, balances looks. Oh, okay, it's already said that. So I say, please fix. You know, actually, that would make more sense in this case. Please fix, right? Whatever. I hit OK. Now, if you go to the document manager, you see how because of the way I set this up, I have the little icon here that will show me my outstanding issues, right? So I come in here. So I know there's an outstanding issue for this. But what about this, right? Oh, I'm just wanting to track every single issue that ever happened within the document here. So I just say, all issues, right? So what I can do is either way I could go into it. So I can just go click, and then I will say, oh, okay, I go, oh, Hafiz is saying that this does not foot. Okay, so let me just go in here, make sure that everything is, I fixed it. So I go, okay, the resolution is fixed. Okay, that's it, right? And then I'll say, oh, it is completed, right? So I'll put it at completed, which is 100%, same thing, hit OK. And notice that, right? Over here, it's not showing any outstanding issues anymore. But over here, because I want to track every single issue, it was an issue, but it's just fixed, right? You see how it's crossed out? Meaning it's done. So just to illustrate, right, you'll be able to now track your work. Who has done what? Okay? And once you've done that, you're happy with this, we have a sign-off feature too. So internally, if you wanted to make sure that, say, the accountant has set it up, okay, so we can sign off, and then the finance director or CFO can go, okay, everything's good, okay, now I sign off too. So officially now you know that this document is properly taken care of, okay? And you see that the document is actually with the big check mark, that means the document is completely reviewed by the two people. You can have multiple people reviewing it, one, but the thing is, you can set that and you can now track that individually. I also notice a lot of folks, also ask me with a situation like that, right? It's like, okay, once we've done all the numbers, sometimes we need to post some last-minute journal entries. Okay, can you do that here? Instead of going back and then redo everything again. We actually have a full journal entry system, as you can see. Okay, now I want to illustrate you using the CAFR again, right? So if you go back to the CAFR, let's go to the statement of net position. Okay, and then we have we can go to, let's see, receivables, for example. Okay, let me just find it. I think it's right here somewhere. Receivables, yes, net of, okay, receivables. So you see here, the number is 67 something, okay? So I want to post something here to effect a change in this number, okay? But what I really wanted to do is to post a reclassifying journal entry that would, put some receivables and then reclassify it as payables, okay, for example. And I'm going to do it with a big number, so you see how that works, okay? So you see without doing an adjusting entry, everything flows over here. So all you have to do then, go back to the document manager, right? Adjusting entry, say new, okay? And then I would, in this case, I'll just say it's a reclass, right? Misstatement, I'll say, okay, judgmental, whatever it may be. Okay? So I'll go over here, and then I can now find my, accounts ACC, accounts receivable. Okay, so it would be a little bit lower. Accounts receivable other, yeah, that's what I wanted to reclass it from. Okay, here. Let's put a big number, right? 5, that's not big enough. I want 500 million. That's a lot of money. Half a Powerball ticket, I guess. So there you go, right? There. And then I can obviously have to find out, what I want to offset it, to. So I would want to click down here and say accounts payable. Accounts payable. I have accounts payable general something. Am I seeing it? Yeah, there. So look at, let's say here. Okay. So you see how it's automatically balanced. Now you can actually customize for your preference. Is show debit and credit. If you are old school that way, right? Wanted to see both. You see, you will have to be able to actually customize it to see both. And once you've seen that everything's okay, you hit close. right? Now, if I open up my document again, let's see, it should, you see how that number just changed from 67 to 567 because of what I posted, right? You see how that journal entry will get posted right away. And that's how powerful this thing is, right? And all you have to do is now reprint it. That's it. You're done, right? Instead of having to foot everything. So very, very quickly, I just want to very quickly mention that. Finally, with a couple of things, okay, on the document manager, and then we'll go to a quick Q&A there. Not a Q&A, but an FAQ, like I was trying to say, right? So once you've done everything, you have the ability here to go to engagement, okay, and you see, besides the import button, there's an export button too. So I can export data in different things. I can use batch PDF, which is a really good function, okay, because you might have done a bunch of things and you wanted to, make it into a PDF document for somebody else's perusal, right, for somebody's examination. So you can actually, highlight whatever you want, drag and drop it over here, and it will actually create a PDF booklet for you. Okay, so you don't have to now worry about individually PDFing every single document here, although if you want to, you can. Okay, you can right-click and do that. Okay, and once everything is done, you're done for this year, print out everything, engagement, year-end close. This is where you would select your roll forward, options, specify them, what to include in next year's file, hit OK, it will roll forward, create a new file for you in the new file name, where you want it, and then you have a new document, a new file to work with for next year's CAFR. Okay, so really that is it, right?